I have to tell you that it is an extraordinary thing to look out at all of you. This hall is filled with people who have imagined, fought for, and persevered to create this moment for service. So many of you have worked to bring volunteer participation to new heights and to pass unprecedented legislation for national service and investing in our innovation and civic infrastructure. So whether you have been a part of the history of the civic change movement, its destiny really is up to you. So I believe there are three things that we must do to meet the moment and realize this opportunity. First, we must demonstrate how service is a strategy for stronger communities and a solution to tough challenges. And we must enlist millions more to this effort. At Points of Light Institute, we are advancing a campaign to get hands-on to create impact in 4 critical areas: education, economy, the environment, and emergency response. If we are successful, it could mean billions of dollars returned to low-income families, more than 500,000 students impacted through tutoring and mentoring, and the reduction of our carbon footprint by 4 billion pounds. To do this, we plan to equip a new wave of service leaders through social media and partners like AARP and the University of Phoenix. The second thing we must do is embrace and communicate the power of service to transform people. Service is not only a strategy for solving the tough issues of our day, it's core to strong communities and a vibrant democracy. Research now tells us that service makes people happier, healthier, and even smarter. It's a fundamental building block of every major faith tradition for personal and spiritual development. Volunteer Sheila Cope's story helps us see the personal and community impact of service. Sheila was a lawyer and a business owner, but in 2008 she was diagnosed with MS. And in her own words, she struggled and grieved until she saw an ad to volunteer to lead Hands On Nashville's social media efforts. In the wake of the recent flood, she joined a handful of Hands On Nashville staff and volunteers, and they got to work. And in the last 58 days since the disaster, they have recruited more than 17,000 volunteers, serving in 981 projects and counting. And they have activated 23,000 new online supporters. Sheila says, "This project has truly restored me. I'm finally ready to go back to living my life without letting MS limit me." So we must continue to emphasize the personal transformational power of service. And finally, in order to realize this moment, we must better integrate our efforts and work together. We must embrace an understanding of civic engagement that is broader than the narrow silos. People serve through the totality of their gifts, through their time, their passions, their skills, their purchasing power, and their voice to create change. So we see this confluence happening right here at the conference with sessions that are bringing together practitioners from the democracy movement and the service movement. It's happening with coalitions like Reimagining Service and Service Nation. It's manifest in the launch of Service World, a coalition of service leaders who are advancing a powerful platform to dramatically increase international civic engagement. We see evidence of the emergence of a new generation of change agents who are innovating and stretching our ideas of participation all around us. The Hasbro Children's Fund is fueling this movement with an amazing $5 million investment for Points of Light to launch Generation On. And through Generation On, we will mobilize the energy, the ingenuity, the passion and compassion of young people to change the world. We'll work with service coaches and civic learning tools available to every young person, school, teacher, and parent. So, it is up to all of us to demonstrate impact, embrace service as a strategy for personal and community transformation, and to work together. And in so doing, we will answer President Obama's call to truly meet the challenges of our time. So in closing, I'd like to give you Tanya Ingram's story. Tanya grew up in a housing development in the South Bronx, and her haven was the bedroom that she shared with her 2 brothers. She rarely left that room where she felt sheltered and secure from the sometimes harsh outside world. But that all changed on a Saturday morning when a friend told her about the Read to Me library program run by New York Cares volunteers. From her first day, Tanya was hooked. She got individual attention she wasn't getting in school, and her world began to expand. So by the time Tanya was a junior in high school, she had her hopes setting on being the first person in her family to go to college. But there were lots of barriers before her, not the least of which was the SAT. So once again, the volunteers were there for Tanya. She was accepted into the New York Cares Kaplan test prep program for a full school year, where she worked with a dedicated team of volunteers whom she called her 5 other moms. So she just completed her freshman year at NYU, and she is an active volunteer with the very same project that helped her when she was 12. And Tanya's here today. Tanya, will you please stand? In Tanya's own words, thanks to you and thanks to New York Cares volunteers, I can do anything. So it is up to you, the heroes of this movement, to create a world in which everyone reaches their potential and fulfills their power to make a difference. Thank you.